Hi, this is Alan from Alpus Group, Property Investment and Development, and this is video 4 of a series of 6 free training videos, which is step 3 of our development process: planning approval and site acquisition. An introduction to Alpus Group. Alpus was founded in Slovenia in 2015. It's based within the European Union and also in the United Kingdom. Alpus operates in the United Kingdom, in Europe, within and out with the EU, in the Middle East and in South Africa. About Alpus Group. Achievements. Alpus Group has property assets in the United Kingdom, in Europe and beyond. Alpus has a track record of project management success over many years for commercial and publicly owned clients. Our culture. Alpus creates property wealth through the application of project management, technical and financial expertise and resources towards leveraging additional value on its assets. Our ethos. Alpus Group applies its expertise and technology for the benefit of its customers and shareholders. This is me. I've got extensive experience of the management of property development and infrastructure projects in the UK and internationally. I started work at 16 years old working for a building contractor in Hampshire in the UK, and I worked for contractors, top-tier consultants and clients. See references and testimonials. Alpus Group sees opportunity in the United Kingdom property market during the next 3 to 5 years in the following sectors: residential property for affordable homes, family accommodation, executive homes, retirement homes and student accommodation, and in commercial property where there are changes of use as a result of permitted development rights that can be carried out and conversion of superfluous commercial property can be repurposed towards residential. So we have 3 strategies. Firstly, permitted rights developments, commercial to residential. This means that you don't have to secure planning permission. You've got the permitted right to carry out the development. Strategy 2 is development and permission for change of use, commercial or industrial sites to residential. So this means you secure planning permission on the site for the development that you want to carry out, and then carry it out. We may use options to purchase to do this. Strategy 3 is joint ventures with property owners. So we've got 3 approaches then to suit this strategy. Approach 1 is site acquisition and development of commercial sites for residential under permitted development. Such things as shops and upper parts or the rear part of large retail premises can be suitable for residential development. Approach 2 is site acquisition and development of residential sites for affordable housing and other types. So this means that we identify sites that are suitable for development and we secure planning permission on those if they haven't already got planning permission. And approach 3 is we carry out joint ventures with property owners. The Alpus Property Investment and Development Strategy 5-step process. Step 1, identify sites. Step 2, preliminary design and feasibility. Step 3, planning permission and site acquisition. Step 4, marketing and sales. Step 5, detailed design and construction. So Alpus Group site finding techniques. We look for property development sites from various sources and we pay a commission for introduction of sites that we follow up and complete on. Alpus uses available internet websites such as Rightmove, Zoopla, On the Market, etc. in conjunction with Nimbus maps, which we use to get the detail on each site that we're considering. Nimbus has a fantastic amount of detail about the planning and purchase history of particular sites, and it also enables you to look at values of sites by comparison with adjacent sites data. And we also carry out joint ventures with property owners. So this training series consists of video 4, which is this one for planning permission and site acquisition, which is step 3 of the process that we've identified. We've already covered step 1, identification of sites, in video 2 of this series. We covered preliminary design and feasibility in video 3. This video is covering planning permission and site acquisition, and future videos, number 5 will cover marketing and sales, and number 6 will cover detailed design and construction. So this is the 5-step strategy. Again, identify sites, preliminary design and feasibility, planning permission and site acquisition, marketing and sales, detailed design and construction. This is an example we looked at previously of a site that we'd identified that was suitable for development. It hadn't been developed for housing before, and we thought that it could be developed possibly for 6 detached houses, subject to planning permission. We looked at alternative schemes to provide semi-detached houses or flats on the site, and we concluded that detached houses was the better value and enabled us to pay the maximum for the site, subject to us being able to get the necessary planning permission for that level of development, which is by no means certain. So this is the option that we identified as being the appropriate one to take forward. 6 houses, £480,000 value each, which we verified from the Nimbus records of sales prices of houses nearby, recently achieved. So we know that it's possible to achieve these prices. We made allowance for finance and legals, and we allowed for the cost of building, which we identified a notional figure of £2,000 a square metre, including design and construction, giving us a potential value for the site of £720,000. And of course, this is subject to planning permission. If you don't get the planning permission, then it's not worth that value. If you don't get anything at all and the planners reject development on the site, then it's not worth that residential development value. It's worth the purpose that it's got, which, if it's agricultural, would be a fraction of that. So planning permission or approval is needed before you can start construction. Alternatively, you must have permitted development rights. If you proceed with construction without either of these permissions, the planning authority may require that you demolish the building. This is a major risk to your time and cost of the project. In the case that you may be uncertain about planning approval being granted, you may decide to take an option to purchase the site, meaning that you have the right to buy the site but not the obligation. You agree an option fee with the vendor, and you agree a time period for the option to apply. Alternatively, you could decide to purchase the site and take the risk of securing the planning approval quickly. And of course, we've already seen this is a not insignificant risk on this particular site. So you need to be aware of the local planning authority policy and plan, and you need to have confidence from your town planning expert or architect that the permission that you're seeking will be granted unconditionally, or that the conditions imposed on the planning approval are acceptable to you. This is another risk, that the approval may not be granted at all, or that the conditions imposed on the planning application are unacceptable to you. For instance, if the local authority required significant roadworks to be carried out and the road then adopted, it might mean a major change to your budget allowance for your project. So you need to be aware of all these things, and the best way to proceed would be to, in this case, secure the site on an option. So you make a nominal payment agreed with the vendor of the site that you would purchase at a much higher price. In this case, we've identified a maximum of $720,000 for such development, provided that the planning application is approved. So this enables you to control the site without purchasing it immediately. So once you've agreed the option, you would submit your planning approval to the local authority, and they've got 56 days to give you their comments. It may be an approval or it may be a rejection. Sometimes they will return an application if they can find a minor deficiency in the information you've submitted. For instance, if you didn't submit the necessary ecology report on the site, environmental impact study, then they may reject your application and require you to resubmit it. So this can take a lot of time, and it can run away with costs of additional fees if you have to make numerous submissions to satisfy the local authority. Hence, the option to purchase is the better way to enable you to control the site without purchasing it immediately. So once the planning permission is granted, you can proceed to purchase the site without concern over further delays and costs to achieve planning approval. These are our contact details. You can contact me, Alan, at Alpus Group, or you can call me on 07539 141257. If you want to book a 30-minute exploratory call with me to discuss a potential project, you can find the link at https://calendly.com/AlanJE. If you'd like a free contracts checklist, there's a tiny URL which you can go to, and you can get some overview advice about contracts. Or if you're interested in further property development training, there's another tiny URL link there. So that's all for video 4. See you in video 5, which will cover marketing and sales. Cheers.